Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troll.
(1973 to 1976). Welcome back, baseball fans. The 1973-76 Carryover League. We're back in the National League Wildcard, and oh boy, folks, we got some heavyweights in the National League during the time. We got the Mets and the Pirates clashing in a wild card round. Almost wish you could schedule these as games of 7. When you got the Cincinnati Reds and the Dodgers and the Mets and the Pirates, we saw the Braves advance. You know, all these teams, they just need a long denouement to, you know, at least conclude their seasons, as one team will do today, of course, as they're all just super talented compared to the American League squads. With that being said, however, we have a not very favorable series here, folks. Let's show you what's gone on. Game 1, opening in New York. Pirates at Mets. First of all, if you're wondering about Tom Seaver, he pitched the clinching game versus Philadelphia in the tournament, so he doesn't play until Game 3. That's not going to be a problem. The Pirates have Jim Rooker versus John Matlack, battle of lefties, and this is a well-played pitched game. Bottom of the second inning, the Mets score first, a Soleta double. Tony Soleta, my goodness. 2 walks to Harmon and Stahl, a strikeout, then an RBI ground out, not bringing the infield up with the bases loaded in the second inning. Maybe if it was first and third, they'd think about it, but 1 run scores. Stays that way to the 7th inning. When they finally touch Matlack, you get a Parker double, RBI single, Stennett. They sack bunt the runners into scoring position, but Tavares and Oliver end the threat. Immediately, the Mets respond, as the Mets responded the first time the teams met. You get a Harrelson double, a Wayne Garrett RBI double, and a Lee Lacy RBI single. It is 3-1. Matlack, through 8 innings, has only given up 1 run and no walks, but 11 hits. And they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of the single variety. But in a somewhat surprise move, they pull him after 8, noting that in the lineup, you have to deal with Stennett, 1 lefty Hebner, Theodore or a pinch hitter Tavares, before you get to Al Oliver, Stargell, and Parker, the 3 big lefties. So they go to Apodaca to start the 9th inning, gets the first out, then sure enough, one of the lefties, Richie Hebner, hits a solo homer to make it 3-2. Doesn't matter, he gets pinch hitters Larry Milbourne and Omar Moreno, the lefties, out to end the game. Mets just have a few more answers, and certainly a much better team in a low-scoring game. And again, the Pirates almost hit themselves in the foot. You heard the expression, shoot themselves in the foot. They keep piling up the hits. They don't get any walks. They don't get enough runs. This is a flummoxed team who lost 4 out of 5 to the Mets the first time around. And this was clearly a revenge scenario. Figuring that the Mets, if they were to win this series 3-2, means they would have had to beat the Pirates 7 out of 10 times. Probably unlikely. These are probably should be like a pick 'em. You know, split 10 games is what you're looking at with these two teams. Each teams have their advantages and weaknesses to exploit, but they are very deep and very talented nonetheless. Doesn't matter. The Mets have now beat the Pirates 5 out of 6 times and win 3-2. Other things to note about this game was the Pirates used a patient approach early, saying maybe we should try manufacturing runs against the New York Mets and the talented pitching staff. They tried a hit and run. It didn't work. It moved the runner up. And they put Tavares in the leadoff spot, trying to get some speed in there. It really didn't work. You know, the Pirates just can't just flip the switch and start playing manufacturer runs. Game 2, and it's just not going to matter. There's nothing to be done at this point. Game number 2, the Pirates will send number 4 starter Alan Foster, a righty who can pitch on 3 days rest. They got out of the Cardinal system. He's actually a pretty good pitcher, but not today, against Jerry Koosman. And it is these chunk innings of the Mets. Bottom of the first, well, you get walk, RBI single, Rusty Staub, and then a 3-run homer by Tony. See you later. This is not your mom and pop's New York Mets, folks. This is a very free agent-driven offense of the Mets. They decided to go outside the organization and find some lumber to improve the lumber they may have had in the 70s. And they found Clyde Mayshore has a nice OPS. You got Lee Lacy they took out of the Dodger system. Tony Soleta from Kansas City. They got Terry Harmon, a .295 hitting second baseman they got in the Tug McGraw trade. They still have Harrelson, Grody, Milner, Rusty Staub, and Wayne Garrett, guys like that. Seaver, Kuzma, Matlack, etc. But they went out, got some bats, and it has worked. If you were going to, I could see the Mets winning a game 1 3-2. They'll win the low-scoring games, but can you out-lumber the Pittsburgh Lumber Company? What Pittsburgh Lumber Company? Jerry Koosman, of the Big Three, has had the worst year, has a losing record. Didn't win his first game until around the All-Star break. That's how bad a year it has been. But he is just sailing through this thing. Bottom of the 5th, after an out, you get a Mayshore walk, Staub single, Lacy single, and then our boy Tony, see you later. Another 3-run dinger. I mean, his 75 card, Kansas City could not. They were stuck with John Mayberry and Tony Soleta, both uber talented first basemen. They could only keep Mayberry, and Soleta was pried away. And the Mets said, we could use a first baseman because we already sent Ed Kranepool to the Blue Jays in a trade. 8-0, and in the 6th inning, Foster's gone. They go to mop-up men, Luke Walker, Bob Johnson. Single, sac fly. Rusty Staub, single 1-4 line out. He catches it. Lee Lacy, triple 1-4 single. He catches it for a 2-run triple. Bases loaded walk in the 7th inning. The Mets catch everything. When it's all over, the Mets have destroyed the Pittsburgh Pirates 12-0. 12-0 destruction of the Pirates. They have now beat Pittsburgh 6 out of 7 times. I don't even think that's even possible. We had been touting the Pirates up there with the Reds as one of the best teams in the National League, with the arrow pointing up. And we thought the Mets were kind of, I mean, these free agents are nice. Their defense is bad. Pitching staff is great, but not as good as it once was. We thought the Mets were on the way down. We thought the Pirates were on the way up. But no, sir. No, sir. We knew that the Mets throwing lefties at the Lumber Company was going to be advantageous to try and cool off the Al Olivers, the Willie Stargells, the Dave Parkers, the Richie Hebners of the Lumber Company. And they did. And so they got the 2 wins at home, which sets up Game 3 today in Pittsburgh. And, of course, some guy coming out of the visitor dugout to the mound is named Tom Seaver, pitching for the Mets today in a clincher, in a sweep attempt. Yep, your 1973 Cy Young winner with a 2.08 ERA. Hall of Fame? Sure, he runs it. He, or at least, yeah. He's passed, of course, but, he did run the Hall of Fame, I believe. And in that penthouse apartment at the very top of the Hall of Fame, Tom Seaver. And he will deal with John Candelaria of the Pirates. First card we could get him into the league in 75 with a 2.75 ERA in 121 innings. And this is one of those rare Candelaria cards as a lefty who's better against righties. Now, normally for most of Candy's career, he dominates lefties and is still pretty good against righties. This is just the opposite. So maybe that will be advantageous for the Pirates, who at this point have had to change their lineup for the third straight game and just say, look, we're just going to do what we do. We're just sticking all our big bats at the top of the lineup and then get quieter and quieter until we get to the number 7, 8, 9 hitters. And this is what we're going to have to do. We have to hope Seaver has an off day, and that's all they can do. They can't change their stripes or whatever you want to say. Pirates are who the Pirates are. Can they get some walks off of Tom Seaver? Probably not. Mets, Pirates, Game 3 elimination. I did not think I'd be broadcasting so soon in this series. I was expecting to broadcast the Game 5, but... By the way, if I get a Game 5 out of this, I'll probably pick it up in the 7th, 8th, or 9th inning, so we get it live. That's what I like to do in playoff series ultimate games once they are reached, if they are reached. So we could see that. Any team, Pirates, Mets, Reds, Braves, Dodgers, any of those teams can come back whatever and force the ultimate game. Leading off for the Mets, Bud Harrelson. 1-5 is a walk. Jerry Grody. He is just going to swing away. 56 is a K. Wayne Garrett. 63 misses the candy column. Pitcher X and candy is an E38. That doesn't help, John. He gets the error, of course. 2 on for Lee Lacy. 43 is left X. Out in left field, it's Pop Stargell. It's not a throwing situation with a -4 arm. It's a fielding situation. He's a 48 in left field. But he makes the grab. Big moment there. That is a big moment. Keeping the runners on the bases. And with 2 on and 2 outs, a man who just hit 2 3-run homers yesterday, Tony Soleta. Let's take a look at the card. May as well do it right now since it could happen right here. If you're wondering, he rolled a 2-9 automatic job and caught the 2-8 on a 10 job against our friend Mr. Alan Foster in Game 2. So here is the card the Mets went out and got. A Kansas City Royal in 1975 with 16 homers and 231 bats, a 260 average, a 2 first baseman, no problems with left-handed pitching, clearly can play every day, draws a lot of walks. Mets always get the high OPS guys. A steal in free agency, a team that really worked the draft rather well, the New York Mets. And now, here is the pitch to Tony Soleta. 33 is a grounded to short. And that's a good start for the Pirates. All right. Leading off, Richie Hebner. And Hebner often, when the Pirates struggle, they'll stick Hebner in the leadoff spot. Try and get something going. 57's a K. Al Oliver, 49, is a walk off the Seaver card. Interesting. Richie Zisk is a strikeout. And Willie Stargell, 210, is a base hit to center. 2 on, 2 outs for the Cobra, Dave Parker. 48, single 1-9, catches it off Seaver that loads the bases. Big moment here for the Pirates. I'd like to get something, anything, off Seaver. Manny Sanguine with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Here's the pitch. 47 is a strikeout. Tom Seaver doing Tom Seaver stuff. 3 strikeouts in the first inning. All right, it's Terry Harmon leading off for the Mets. 68 is a walk. Rusty Stahl bats 7th versus lefties, 3rd versus righties. 1-7's a walk. Clyde Mayshore, another free agent. 48, pops to first. Don Hahn, defensive center fielder. Short X. Not a good defensive position for the Pirates. Milbourne's a 3E38. It's a ground ball C. The runners move into scoring position. Back up top to Bud Harrelson, who leads off versus lefties, bats 8th versus righties normally. 3-11, he pops a short. All right, bottom of the second. Larry Milbourne, 49. He draws that walk. Second time off the Seaver card. Stennett, do you hit and run here? Let's do a hit and run. It probably won't work. It doesn't. It's a fielder's choice. They're just not the team that do these sort of things, but they're attempting to steal from Seaver, at the bottom at least. So with a fielder's choice, Stennett is now the runner at first for Omar Moreno. 45. He connects off Sievert's homer 1-7, double the rest. And when we look up, Omar Moreno in 1976 had 2 homers, 122 at-bats. They gave him power. It's gone. And Omar Moreno homer off the Seaver card, who's bewildered out there going, what just happened? Omar Moreno, probably the only time in his career he'd have power versus right-handed pitching in a small sample size rookie card of 76. 2-run, we'll call that he hit the pole. He hit the pole down the right field line, and it's 2-0. Richie Hebner. 47, double 1-7. It's a double. They're hitting all the stuff off the Seaver card. Parker hit the single. We had the double, and we had the homer. Al Oliver. 53, first C. And with 2 outs, it's Zisk. 212, third. We talked about, hey, let's attack Seaver. Let's hope he has an off day. Well, so far, he has. He's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 men on, and 2 have scored. Top of the third, it's Jerry Grody. 37's a base hit. Wayne Garrett, 57, is a K. Lee Lacy, 112, pops to short. And Tony Soleda, 311, is a hit by the pitch. That's one way to get him, prevent hitting home runs. Just knock him in the wrist with one. 2 on, 2 outs for Terry Harmon. 67, single, 1-4, catches the 4. That's the third single and a 4 the Mets have caught in this series. We're 2 plus 3 innings into it. Bases loaded, 2 outs for Le Grand Orange, Rusty Staub. 410 center X. Now the Pirate defense, oh boy, it's shaky. Moreno's a 316 in center field. He makes the catch. So again, Moreno's rookie card, his defense is bad. Of course, we know his defense gets better. He won't have power anymore, and of course he won't draw any more walks. He'll steal more bases. So he completely changes his stripes throughout his career. A nice catch there on the warning track. It stays 2-zip. Pirates desperately need this game. Stargell. 57's a K. Dave Parker, 39, walks. Sanguian, 34, pops to short. Ed Milbourne, 39, grounds are short. The Pirates feel if they can get this game against Seaver, they'd have the momentum, and the Mets would have to go to the number 4 starter, Dennis Blair. And the Pirates want to feast on him in a Game 4, sending it back to Shea Stadium and take their chances with their ace, Jim Rooker, in a Game 5. So the Pirates do not fear being down 0-2 and getting blown out 12-zip. Obviously, they don't fear Tom Seaver either. 2-0 into the 4th. It's Clyde Mayshore. 310 center. Don Hahn, 2-5, third. Bud Harrelson, 2-7 is a pop to second base. The Candyman Ken. The Candyman Candelaria has given up a couple singles, some walks through 4 innings. Bottom of the third, it's Rennie Stennett. 63, pitcher X, Seaver, E25. Pretty high E rating. And he commits the error on the E25 as soon as I say it. Now you got Moreno. Muscling up. 2-9, single 1-15. He gets it. 2-on. Now this is where the Pirates, they want to get a run or 2 or 3 here if they can. Richie Hebner. 69 flies to center. Al Oliver. 2-6. There you go. Let's take a look at the Al Oliver card of 1976. This is the thriving Pirates we envisioned when we touted this series amongst heavyweights. You got Al Oliver 1976 hitting .323 with 12 home runs. This incredible, slugging, corner, first base, outfield combinations. Oliver and Zisk and Stargell and Parker. And eventually Moreno's got to have a spot in there in center field. They'd lose Oliver. Oliver would eventually end up with Texas, and then Zisk ends up with the White Sox and some other teams. They can't keep all these riches in Pittsburgh. 2-6 now is a single dot, and it is 3-zip. Runners on the corners, 1 out. It's Richie Zisk. They're going to play back, hope for a Zisk double play. 3-10 is a strikeout, and with 2 outs, it's Willie Stargell. 64 off Seaver, short X. This is where Harrelson can clean up your mess for you. He makes the play. Just 3-0. Do the Pirates maybe regret this not being a 5 or 6-0 game? They have put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 men on versus Seaver. To his credit, only allowing 3 to score. We go to the 5th. It's Jerry Grody. 1-3 rolls a short. Wayne Garrett, 1-5 is a strikeout. And Lee Lacy, 54, pops to second base. The Candyman continues. 3-0 game, bottom of the 5th. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
The Mets are in an interesting situation where they're fine losing 2 out of 3. You lose 2 out of 3 to the Pirates, you still knock them out, and that's the mentality they have to have. Though this is Seaver's only opportunity to pitch in this series, so they're going to have to rely on Blair and Matlack to get one of the wins if Seaver cannot. Bottom of the 5th, it's Dave Parker. 111 short. Sanguian, 66, strikes out. Larry Milbourne, 2-2, pops to second base. And that is the first 3-up and 3-down inning today off Seaver. We go to the 6th inning. It's Tony See You Later. 38 is a K. Terry Harmon Carden, 66, double 128, catches it. They caught the single 104, it didn't hurt. They just caught the double 108. We're catching these today. The 20-sided dice has been extremely friendly. It's often been pretty mean. Caught the homer 1-7, which is determining this game to this point. Caught double 1-7 and single 1-9 off the Seaver card. We've caught every hit opportunity off the pitcher's cards today. Runner at second for Rusty Staub. 6-11 first X, and this is Oliver, a 2E10 at first. Makes the play, runner goes to third. If Oliver can only be in 2 places at one time, he'd be at first and in center field, where they need help. And unfortunately, he can only play one at a time. He often plays center field versus lefties and first base versus righties. 2 outs, it'll be Clyde Mayshore. 3-12 is a low max. Candy gets out of another one. Bottom of the 6th. 3-0 game. Rennie Stennett. 2-9. 2-9. Let's take a look at a card. It's Rennie Stennett's card to 19. 75. A 286 hitter. 650 plate appearances. He's had some really tremendous offensive cards. A 353 card, I think in 71. He'll hit 338 and 77. He'll be a 1 second baseman, which is amazing. Here he's a 2. Sort of a mix. Right in between the hot offense of the early 70s and the good defense of that 1 year in the later 70s. 2-9. The triple 1-10, he can't get this one. It's a base hit. Big non-triple there. Now you got Moreno. 210 flies to right. Back up top to Hebner. This is why they put him in the leadoff spot for big moments like this, but he skies the center field. And Al Oliver had the big hit in the 4th inning. 57 is a K, and Seaver battles back. We go to the 7th. Candy's a starter 7. Seaver's a starter 9. If you're wondering about extra innings, we're playing regular old baseball. We're not putting a guy at second base for the rest of the year as it's playoff time. We only do that during the regular season and tournament. So top of the 7th is Don Hahn. 38. It's a grounder to short. Bud Harrelson. 39 is a base hit. Jerry Grody. 410 center X. And again, it's not Oliver. It is Moreno, a 3E16 in center field. He makes the catch, fly ball A. We got a runner tagging up to second. And with 2 outs, it's Wayne Garrett. 65. Now again, I said earlier, Candy, this particular iteration, He's better against righties and lefties, so 6-5 is an automatic double to right field, and the Mets are on the board. I'm going to say if you put this template ahead of Candelaria most of the rest of his career, that's probably double one to something, fly ball the rest, and that inning's over. But not with this particular card of Candy. 3-1 is the score. Tying run is Lee Lacy, who has power. Again, you're not really too scared with Candy out there because I just said he's good against righties. He actually might be pulled when the lefty Soleta were to come up. But here is the pitch to Lee Lacy. 1-9, he grounds to third to get out of the inning, and it's a 3-1 affair. What a good, this is the first of the, I guess game 1 was a good playoff game. Game 2 certainly was not. But we got a good one today, folks. Stretch time here in Pittsburgh for the bottom of the 7th inning, and we are enjoying listening to the Intruders. Super hits of 1970. The Intruders were a soul singing band, often played on the radio, AM radio in Maryland, Pennsylvania during this time. On the Gamble record label, Cowboys to Girls was one of their big hits. Slow Drags on here. Love is Like a Baseball Game. Sad Girl. They had a lot of pop hits from 66 to 73 or so. 1973's Super Hits LP by the Intruders. Back to the game in the bottom of the 7th. Tom Seaver will continue. Of course he will. He's a start of 9. If there's 3 runs allowed, he'll probably pitch the 9. Give his bullpen a break. They don't even need it. But it'll be Richie Zisk leading off. 1-9's a base hit to right field. Now you got Pop Stargell. 67's a K. Dave Parker, 55, second X. Now Harmon is okay at second. 327. It's a GBA. And the Mets get a defensive break there. A double play to end the 7th inning. Candyman. All right, here's your scenario with Candy coming back out for the 8th inning. Looks like he cannot lose this game. 2 batters in the 8th will give him the point of weakness, and we'll pull him out at that point. Justy is the closer. He's had his moments this year. He's been a case of getting the save, though loading the bases often in the process. He's had a series earlier this year, I think it was against the Reds, where he got back-to-back saves and walked 6 guys in 2 games. Walked the bases loaded in back-to-back games, yet got saves. Luke Walker, a lefty, not very good. Randy Moffat's giant farmhand, he's okay. Bob Johnson, not so much either. Hopefully you'd like to get Justy in there just for the 9th inning and see if Candelaria can somehow grit his way through the 8th inning. Do the Pirates have any more defense to bring in to help Mr. Candy? They can help out with George Theodore going into the outfield. They'll do that. He'll come in for Zisk. Stargell goes to DH. And they have a 3 in left, 3 in center, and a 2 at first base. That will really help Mr. Candyman. Okay. Leading off in the 8th inning, it's Tony Soleta. 1-9's a K. Terry Harmon. 2-10 is a grounder to short, and with 2 outs, it's Rusty Staub. 2-12 fouls out to the catcher, the Candyman. That takes him off the point. Oh, he could go for the CG now. 3-1 game. It's bottom of the 8th inning. It's Manny Sanguillen. 39 is a walk. Larry Milbourne. 110 is a K. Randy Stennett, 45 off the Seaver card. Double 1-5 is a double. It's second and third. The infield has to come up from Moreno. Do you do the squeeze? This is the scenario I like to use. You have the lead. You have second and third. Actually, I'm more of a first and third squeeze guy. Not a second and third so much. It's a nice way to steal a run off a Hall of Famer. But no, he's going to hit away as he has given you 2 of your 3 runs today. Infield up. Moreno will be swinging away. 5-11, second X. Harmon, 327. Well, he'll make the play, right? It's already set up for him right there. So with the infield up, the runners hold as Moreno hits a rocket straight to Harmon at second base. So with 2 outs and a base open, it's Hebner. Seaver could walk in the pitch to Oliver. No thanks. He'll deal with Hebner. 49, you walked him. 4-9, rolled 3 times in this game against Seaver. He's thrown a lot of pitches. Now you got Oliver. You're really tempted to get a lefty in there, to get Oliver out. You know, I mean, but it's Tom Seaver, for Pete's sake. So I don't think they're going to do it. You can see the logic, though. Oliver's much better against righties and lefties, and Seaver's not had the best day. And it's a very winnable game for the Mets. But I guess you're up 2-0 in the series, and you certainly don't want to yank your best player on your team. So Seaver's going to have to deal with Al Oliver, who singled off him in the 4th and drew a walk. Bases loaded walk would also work, something the Pirates rarely do. Here's the pitch to Al Oliver. 1-9, he delivers again. Wouldn't have mattered against the lefty or righty. It's a single to center field. 1 run scores. Here comes Stennett. He's going to try and score. He does. It's a 2-run single off of Seaver, who has not been Tom's day today. Hebner ends up at third. They're on the corners. It's now 5-1, and it's George Theodore. 1-4 short. The defensive replacement ends the inning. We'll go to the 9th. It's 5-1, and the Candyman can. He can continue. He's going for the complete game. Clyde Mayshore, 46, flies to center. Don Hahn, 1-3, lines the third. Back up top to Bud Harrelson, 54. He lines to second base. The Candyman can. He did it. He beat Tom Seaver 5-1. And the Pirates, first of all, they needed to get a win against the Mets to just clean the slate. And now they'll look forward to a Game 4 here in Pittsburgh. It'll be Bruce Keeson versus Dennis Blair. And the Pirates have to feel good about that matchup. And if it goes back to Shea Stadium for a Game 5, it'll be a rematch of Rooker and Matlack. The Pirates got a little bit of their swag back, beating the Hall of Famer Tom Seaver 5-1. We'll have the box score for this and the results of the rest of the series coming up, so stay tuned. All right, folks, here is the box score of Game 3 you just saw. The Pirates beating Tom Seaver 5-1. The Candyman, 5 hits, a run, 4 walks, and 5 Ks, and a complete game. Seaver didn't have a stuff today. This is what the Pirates were hoping to get. 10 hits and 5 walks. 4 earned runs and a 5-1 defeat. Can the Pirates keep the mojo going? They'll have Bruce Keeson versus Dennis Blair, free agent. The Mets brought in. A guy they brought in hoping to hide him in the rotation, but he's in an important game. He's had a nice year for the Mets. We've seen him on YouTube pitch before. In this game, the Mets come out right away, hoping to help Dennis Blair. They get a Mayshore single, a Staub single with 2 outs. Our boy Saleta, RBI single, and then Terry Harmon on his own card. It's a 2-run triple. Free agents. Mets are doing it that way, and it's paying off big time. 3-0. Pirates would answer against Blair. Oliver double, RBI single, Zisk. It's 3-1. Sloppy second inning for the Pirates. After a double, an error by shortstop Larry Milbourne, we get a pass ball pop out. It's 4-1. It stays that way. And the Pirates, again, this is what they did in Game 1 when they had 1 run on 11 hits off of Matlack. They get a single in the second. They get 2 singles, a walk in the third. They get a triple in the 5th. They get 2 singles in the 6th. They get nothing out of all of that. It stays that way until the 8th inning. It's 4-1. The Mets get a leadoff double by Soleta. After a series of pitching changes, Keeson was pulled after 2 walks in the 5th, and it was a good move. Luke Walker did a decent job at inning in a third. Moffitt comes in, inning in 2/3. But Justy gives up the 2-out single. Dave Justy, the closer, trying to get the final 4 outs to keep it 4-1. It doesn't work. It makes it 5-1. Doesn't matter. The Pirates do rally. Blair is taken out of the game after 6 innings, knowing that he's been very fortunate to this point. And also, They Pirates have those lefty killer, the lefty bats, Hebner, Oliver, Stargell, and Parker coming up in the top of the 7th. So they go to the lefty they acquired in the Philadelphia trade for Tug McGraw. It's Mac Scarce or Scarce. Lefty, he gets 3 up and 3 down in the 7th. Runs into some trouble in the 8th. After 2 outs, Sanguian comes in as a pinch hitter as they started an extra lefty bat against Blair. Sanguian with a tie run on deck. Bob Apotica, the Met closer, gets Sanguian out. In the 9th inning, Apotica asked to preserve a 5-3 save. After an out, Oliver singles. He strikes out Zisk. Stargell walks. The tying runs are on. Dave Parker, the winning run in a walk-off attempt. Unfortunately, misses his column, rolls a ground ball back to the mound, and stunningly, that's the end of the Pirates season, as that we did not think their season would end this soon. But it's a loss to the Mets in Game 4. Final score 5-3. Dennis Blair gets the win. Apotica, his second save in the series. Keeson takes the loss, 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 walks. Mets win 3-1. They beat the Pirates, so we know definitely the Mets are a better team than the Pirates. And you could argue, well, it's not a good matchup for the Pirates. Well, we don't really care about that. That's not how baseball works. Mets are better. They beat you 7 out of 9 times. Mets are the Pirates' kryptonite. So with that, it's all over for the Pirates here, and the Mets advance. Let's take a look at the postseason schedule here. Here we go in the National League. We know the Braves beat Arizona as a 5 beats a 4. But the Mets hold on as a number 3 seed, winning 3-1. They're 8 over 500. Pittsburgh's season ends with 24 wins and 20 losses. The Mets have a date with the Dodgers in the divisional round. The number 3 Mets against the number 2 Dodgers. And Atlanta, the number 5 seed, against the number 1 Cincinnati Reds. That's the slate for the divisional round. And oh, by the way, in the divisional round, we use the NBA format of 2 home, 2 away, home, away, home. The 2-2-1-1-1 format instead of the 2-3-2 format. And the reason we do that is we want to protect our number 1 seeds with Game 5 at home and home field advantage through the first 5 games at least. Something that you don't get in a 2-3-2 format. But boy, what a nice bracket in the National League. We didn't get the Pirates. We got the Braves and Mets crashing from the East against the West. Pretty nice scenario here. The Dodgers struggled mightily. Yeah, they lost to Arizona, a team the Braves beat. And that's the Dodgers-Mets. That's a toss-up. Of course, the Braves and the Reds played in the National League Championship Series a year ago. Reds had little trouble with them. Looking for a repeat. Braves are just going to have to roll in their cards and get a dozen or more, a baker's dozen. They're just going to have to score a lot of runs to beat the Cincinnati Reds. That's all we can say there. So with that, we'll have a wrap-up video for the Pittsburgh Pirates coming up. That's it today. Break up the New York Mets. They take care of the Pirates again. 3-1. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.